Good, yes, sir.
It's time for Tiger Talk Tuesday, coming live from Miggs. Tiger Talk Tuesday is sponsored by All Out Stump Grinding, Allen Harmon Trucking, Berry Insurance Agency, CM Tree Service, Cricket Wireless, Crouch Hardware and Farm Supply, Economy Furniture, Edwards Heating and Cooling, Floyd Nicholson for Senate District 10, H&R Block, J&R Exterminating, Josh Price for Sheriff, Miggs of Saluda, Motor Coach Paint and Body Sales, Newberry Hospital, Northland Cable, Persimmon Hill Country Club, Punk's PB and Jam, Price's Garage and Heavy Duty Towing, Ramey Funeral Home, Saluda Nursing and Rehab Center, the Law Office of Nancy T. Jordan, the Ridge Baptist Association of Churches, the Town of Saluda, the Wills Agency Nationwide Insurance, Timeless Roofing, and Whizzes of Batesburg, Leesville. We're so glad you're tuned in to Tiger Talk Tuesday. We encourage to send your comments and calls today throughout the program. Today we'll have special guests, and we will talk about the latest going on around Saluda area, as well as all the happenings in sports. You're watching Tiger Talk Tuesday, live from Miggs, on your Saluda Now. And we're so glad to be here with you live on Tiger Talk Tuesday from Saluda Now. We had some technical difficulties, but we're back now, and we appreciate so much Frank Davis coming in. You can go actually and watch. His show is separate from the rest because we went down on the post. And before I get into the Sheriff's Forum, we want to remind you the game will be this Saturday. Remember that. It's going to be this Saturday, 10:30 pregame, 11 a.m. kickoff here at Bettis Hurlong at Matthews Field. And the Tigers will be taking on the Batesburg-Leesville Panthers. Only 1,000 tickets will be sold to the general public. And they will be available starting tomorrow morning and Thursday at Crouch's Hardware and the Added Touch. Only those 2 days. And then whatever's left over will be made available at the gate. So you'll want to get those tickets early because, as you know as well as I do, it's going to be a crowd over there, even on a Saturday. So we're thankful that you're coming in here with us today. And today we're so glad to have with us Sheriff John Perry. Sheriff Perry, thank you for tuning in on Saluda Now.
Thank you.
And we're also glad to have candidate for sheriff, Josh Price.
Thank you for having us.
And let me turn up the volume up because y'all don't talk loud as I do. And a little bit. Let's get a little bit higher there. Check 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. And there we go. A little bit more. Okay, there we go. And we're so glad y'all came in, and we have several questions for you. But the first thing I need to do is decide which one of y'all are going to go first. And I said I was going to draw, but I forgot the dang thing to draw with. So we will go first, and before we do this, I will tell y'all right now that I do not know any one of y'all's birthdays. I know y'all have had birthdays recently. I guess you do, because it seems like people have birthdays yesterday and next week on Facebook, as much as y'all wish you had a birthday to each other. So the birthday is closest to will go first. What's your birthday, Josh?
August 17th.
August 17th?
9/27.
So you'll be first. All right. That's fair to y'all?
Works for me.
Okay. All right. First, we'll give an opening statement. Will be Sheriff John Perry. Sheriff, give your opening statement at this time.
Thank you for everyone joining us. Thank you, Burton, for having us.
Make sure your mic's on. Hold on just a second. There we go.
Thank you, Burton, for having us. Thank everyone for joining in. I'm John C. Perry, your sheriff. I've been married going on 33 years, have 2 sons. Started my law enforcement career in 1999, serving the citizens of Saluda County. Worked through the ranks, became your sheriff in November of 2012. Since then, we have implemented several things, a lot more work to do, but we've implemented state-of-the-art video cameras on our cars, body cams on our officers, cellular forensics. We have a food drive, coat drive, church safety, crime watch, several other things. But we have a lot more work to do, and with your help, I appreciate your vote, November the 3rd. Thank you for having me.
All right. That's Sheriff John Perry, and now his opponent, Josh Price, and he's going to give us his opening statements.
Okay, well, thank you for having us, Burton. Can you hear me?
You sound good.
Again, thank you for having me. I'm running for sheriff because I love this county. This is where my wife, Whitney, and I raise our daughters, Presley and Reagan, and I want them to grow up in a safe county. I want them to have good law enforcement. We have good men and women who serve us here in Saluda County. We have men and women at our center, at our sheriff's office deputies, and our 911 dispatch center. And they deserve hard work, sheriff, as hard as they do. And as your sheriff, that's what I said. My campaign slogan has been a working sheriff for all of Saluda County. If you elect me your sheriff, I plan to go to work for you. It doesn't matter where you live in Warren or the track circle. You're going to have a sheriff that's going to be accessible to you, a sheriff that you can call, a sheriff to answer your questions, and a sheriff to keep you safe. I'll have an open door policy. And again, I look forward to being able to be here.
Okay. Being that Sheriff Perry went first in giving his statement, we'll ask you the first question. And it has to do with the current situation going on in Newberry County. It's not exactly, but this man is wanted, and I don't know if you have seen the post on Saluda Now, but Newberry County Sheriff's Department actually got in touch with us and asked us if we would repost this on Saluda Now. You may identify the subject. He may be from Saluda, he may be from Lexington, he may be from Timbuktu, but you may recognize him. He looks familiar. And I know them meat skins look familiar in a convenience store. I'm going to call them the meat skin bandit. But now it was a serious situation. There was a person that was put in danger, a hostage situation. I guess you could call it a hostage situation, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
when you're taken in your own home and you're bound down, and I've had that happen with 2 of my church members, Precious, and I came right up on it after it happened, and they summoned me to their house. I think you were there, Sheriff.
Yes.
And that's not a pleasant situation to walk in. You might have been working for the Sheriff's Department then. I don't know when it happened at Persimmon Hill. Was you working with the Sheriff's Department?
Yeah,
Yeah, you was out there too.
I was one of the investigators on the case.
Yeah, and Sled was out there. It was a bad feeling, and it's bad because you knew him, you knew what happened, and you wanted justice. And you know, I've really not been put in that situation like that as a pastor until that happened. But I can tell you one thing: I wanted justice for them people for what they did, not just only for them, but for whoever else they may harm. And thank the Lord, Saluda County did it, and y'all was part of it. Thank the Lord for it.
Absolutely.
But here's the question.
And 2 of them are in prison for life right now.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're serving federal time, and they're also, when they get done with their federal time, they'll be transferred over to the state of South Carolina, and they'll be serving life in prison. They were two very bad people, but the people you're talking about, I hope that others do, but they are good Christian people.
Yes.
And their story about how they survived that is so strong. God was definitely a part of everything in that case.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm glad to be able to, and I know the sheriff was too, very glad to be able to help them and find justice.
It was all in God's hands, Bert.
Yeah, because it was,
And I know y'all law enforcement, y'all see it every day, but when you come up on somebody that you know like that, and as close as y'all knew them people too, and I'm not gonna say the name on there for privacy, but it does something to you, don't it?
Absolutely.
To say you don't have no feelings, a lawman don't have no feelings, you can't say that.
You
know.
got,
Go ahead.
you've got to have compassion. You've got to be compassionate. If you're not compassionate, there's something wrong with you to begin with, Bert. And when you know someone like that that's real close to you, it makes the job 10 times tougher because it's just like a family member or a close relative, anything like that. It makes it 10 times harder.
Yes.
Tragic situation.
Yeah, I mean, any type of situation like that, the best law enforcement officer you can have is one that serves in the county he or she works in. I think that's why it's very important to try to hire local deputies or deputies that want to move into Saluda County to live, because you don't want law enforcement to be like a job to where you punch a clock from 6 to 6. You want somebody who is passionate about what they do, passionate about helping their community. And if you serve in a community to where the people that you're going to be dealing with live and are victims of crime, say, if I know that Burton Campbell's four-wheeler got stolen, it's going to be a lot more personal to me to find Burton Campbell's four-wheeler because I know him. I'll bump into him in the grocery store. It's so definitely community involvement and then officers serving in the communities they live is very important.
And by the way, if you find my four-wheeler, you know it ain't me. Because I ain't getting on one on a motorcycle either. All right. Sorry, I need to be a little bit more professional here today. Leading off of this situation here, and this is a good question. And I want to say too, thank you, all of you that submitted questions. We appreciate each one of them, don't we? And the viewers and the voters. So let's remember this today. I wanted y'all to comment on the situation. We have seen an increase in our county, and I imagine this happened over the years, not just increased, where one county has someone cross the lines in our county. Who pays for the extra time cost involved in a search like this? This happens in bigger municipalities, and the state helps pick up the tab or feds if it's involved federal inmate. Y'all know more about that than I do. Go ahead, Josh, answer the question.
This is regarding mutual aid to another county?
Yes. Who helps pay for the extra time? Let's say they got arrested in Newberry and came into Saluda County and y'all had to search for them. Who pays for it, and does the taxpayers have to pick up the tab for time in Saluda County?
Yes, they do. When you come into Saluda County, if you cross in the county line, at that point, you're Saluda County's problem. It's the job of the sheriff to go after bad guys, so we're going to go after bad guys. And I think that most citizens in this county, if we're doing a manhunt like what Newberry County had yesterday, they're going to be glad to see the Saluda County Sheriff's Office go out there and go to work to help find a bad guy. That's what our job is. So, but if it's something that a mutual aid type agreement, it's still Saluda County.
And I'm going to ask Sheriff Perry the same question this time, if he will respond to that.
Yes, sir, Burton. It is up to the taxpayers of this county when someone crosses into the line. Like Josh spoke on, that it is the sheriff's job of the county to help apprehend these subjects and keep the citizens of our county safe. It is totally our responsibility at that point in time when they cross the line. But we do have mutual aid agreements with the surrounding counties, and a sheriff at this point in time can sign an agreement with any adjoining county or anything without having to go before county council now. But yes, it is our responsibility once they cross that line. And nobody, no more than myself, wants to apprehend someone when they cross that line committing a crime in that magnitude.
All right. Next question. What, and this is goes to Sheriff Perry first, what is your opinion on a new jail and housing federal inmates here?
We definitely need a new facility, but I know unfortunately the taxpayers will have to suffer the burden. But the Department of Corrections have sent us several letters and stuff, and our facility that we have at this point in time is falling to pieces. You know, you keep putting a Band-Aid on something, you can only keep that Band-Aid on it for so long. But yes, we need a new facility, but there needs to be a means of funding it, helping with the state, federal grants, whatever we can get to help take some of the burden off of our taxpayers. Because including myself, yes, I'm the sheriff, but I'm a resident of Saluda County, so guess what? I'm just as much taxpayer as some of the rest.
All right, and next, that question goes also to Josh Price.
Yes, I'm not a fan of building a new jail at this point. I do not think that the county can take that burden at this point. I think we did a penny sales tax. It was going to be $8 million to build a jail. I think the jail that is in plans right now, I think it's over 14 million right now is what it would cost. And I think it would probably be more in the long run to build that facility. So I don't see where we're going to be able to come up with the extra money right now. And I do think that, putting a Band-Aid on something is a bad thing, but when the county's in the financial situation it is, we're just going to have to put a big Band-Aid on it. I was talking with a councilman a while back, and we were having this discussion about the jail. We were actually at the Saluda Primary School, and I said, well, what's one of the biggest issues with the jail? And they talked about plumbing. I said, okay, well, we can fix plumbing. And then they said, well, the roof leaks. And we were standing in the cafeteria at the Saluda Elementary School, and I looked up, and there's this big water spot where it's stained, and it's got mildew there. And the drywall started cracking up, and that's where our kids eat. So that was their point to, we need a new jail because the roof leaks, but we can let our children eat in a facility with that kind of structure. I just think we're going to have to put a Band-Aid on it, and I'm going to look at any type of way to put a Band-Aid on it. Also, another idea, if we did have to build a jail, would be to possibly look at going to a multi-county jail and to split the cost with other counties that are in the same situation we are in.
All right, here's the next question from a viewer. How many murders happen annually in Saluda County? What is done in investigating murders? And this is for Josh.
Okay. Saluda County, I don't have the annual murder numbers, but I would say we're still less than 5 per year. That we have around 5 murders. Most of those have been solved in the last several years, but we have around 5. We use SLED's crime scene for any type of murder investigation that we work, and we investigate those cases. We had a murder here in the town of Saluda several months back where a young man lost his life, and very tragic thing. Anytime someone's life is lost to violence is very tragic. I believe the last murder we had before that was in Ridge Spring. There was the young man shot there, and then I believe a body was dumped off in the Ridge Spring ward area. The last 3 that I can think of, maybe within the last year.
All right, and the question now goes to Sheriff Perry on that.
We've had less than 5, like Josh said, which we're fortunate. We investigate up to a point that we start the investigation through the beginning to the end, but SLED's crime scene, we have to call in state agencies to help us with the crime scenes and stuff, to help alleviate some of the cost and stuff off the taxpayers here in the county, which works great. they have a lot of more sophisticated tools and stuff than we have here with our agency. But we investigate it from the beginning to the end with assisted help from SLED and other surrounding agencies.
Okay, and this goes first to Sheriff Perry, and this is sort of not really in murders, but in crime. What can be done to investigate home invasions, stealing of personal property? What is the law about shooting someone if caught stealing in your home?
Is that a three-part question?
I guess so.
Can you read it to me one
right.
more time?
And it's probably the same thing. Well, no, not, it could be different. What can be done to investigate home invasions, stealing of personal property? That's the second question. What is the law about shooting someone if caught stealing or in your home? I guess stealing in your home is the way it should be.
Stealing in your home, what can be done about it?
Yeah.
They can be charged with larceny for stealing in your home. But there's a such thing called as the castle doctrine. You're talking about the home invasion and stuff like that. If someone is breaking in your home, there's a such thing called the castle doctrine that's covered under that umbrella.
All right, and we'll ask Josh Price about the same thing.
Okay. Well, when you get to a home invasion type situation, what is done? There's generally a ton of different type of investigations. Generally, you're going to get as many boots on the ground there as you can, control the crime scene, depending on what type of victims you have. There could be medical attention, issues at the ER, getting as much information, interviews, things such of that nature, document that crime scene. We also have different forensics. We use, if we have an idea of who the person may be, we do have resources with SLED where we can use phone trucks to track GPS and things such as that. So it's just a lot, and no particular home invasion is really the same. There was a second part, and then we talked about shooting someone in your home. What was the second part?
The second part would be about the same thing, I think, because it says stealing personal property. And what is the law about shooting someone if caught stealing in your home?
You have the right to defend yourself and your property inside your home, up to deadly force. So like the sheriff said, the castle doctrine protects homeowners, and we're going to stand by that. I promise you, as a sheriff candidate, I'm a firm Second Amendment candidate, and I will stand up against any unconstitutional laws as your sheriff that the federal government may try to impose in Saluda County, and I will protect your Second Amendment rights here.
All right, here's a question, and Josh, you'll go first on this one. And this is a pretty, how can the radio transmission be improved in our county? Dispatchers are constantly complaining about not being able to copy. Do you believe that all agencies should be on one frequency?
I would like to see all agencies on one frequency. It makes sense for us to be on one frequency. That way we can communicate together. If the way the system is right now, as far as one frequency, law enforcement can't switch over and talk to EMS or fire. And we all need to be able to talk to each other. Sometimes we're going to have scenes to where fire may show up first and then really realize it's more of a law enforcement matter, and they need to be able to tell us, quickly that we need to step up or we need to come in from a certain way, or the same thing with EMS. So it is very important. It's a life saving measure the way our radios are right now. That is going to fall under the emergency management director as far as the radio system. That is definitely something that we have to do, because I'm very fearful that an officer will get seriously injured due to the fact that we cannot communicate in the way we should, especially in our lake area. And if you go down through Ridge Spring and Monetta, you can almost stand on Main Street and not have the perfect radio contact.
All right, and the same question to Sheriff Perry about the radio system.
Thank you, Burton. Communication is the key. Like Josh spoke on some, communication is the key with first responders. We should be able to talk to the fire units, the EMS units. We should be able to communicate with a channel, if it's a push of the button or whatever. But our radio system, we've been having issues with it for years. And like you spoke on, that falls under the emergency management director. But we also need to be able to talk to surrounding counties when we have an incident such as Newberry had last night. Guess what?
Yeah.
Saluda and Newberry cannot communicate because Newberry County is on an 800 system where Saluda is on a 400 system. So we've had chases to come into our county that we could not talk with. The town of Saluda, the sheriff's office, town of Ridge Spring, none of us could communicate with the other agency. So communication is a key when it comes to that, and it's a life-saving thing.
All right, we're fixing to change up subject big time here. In most counties, the sheriff's department has animal control officers. Why does Saluda County not have this? Sheriff Perry.
Thank you, Burton. I've been working on this since I took office, since November of 2012. Our former county council chairman, we had spoke in person several times, and I had given him documents on the cost of a truck or, transportation and this and that. But council we have worked on this since 2012, so now we are at 2020, and we still haven't seen any progress. From my understanding, and it's something that would have to be asked someone other than the sheriff, because it's not in the sheriff's budget, that there was some money set aside to help start an animal control. We definitely need it, because if you look at our call log, I can print out you a call log from our CAD system. If we have one, we have 10 a week. So there is an issue with that. We definitely need animal control for Saluda County.
All right, we're going to ask the same to Josh Price this time.
Okay, yes, there has been money set aside for animal control in Saluda County. I believe through the penny sales tax that was passed, it was $150,000 that Saluda County currently has the money for to build a facility to house animals. The issue with that is that $150,000 will only build a facility that we can house animals at. It doesn't have anything to do with funding for an officer or equipment or training. So what we're gonna have to do, that money's ready to be used. So we could actually use that money right now to go ahead and build a shelter on county property. But what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to sit down and we're gonna have to work with our council, and we're gonna have to make sure that there is, that we're cutting some spending so we can figure out how to do this. Animal control is a huge problem in Saluda County, and it is something that we definitely have to address. We already have this money here. Let's start to work on it. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut spending. I'm very much a conservative when it comes to spending. We're going to have to stop doing certain things. Sheriff, I'm going to have to take the wheels off of your truck, and I'm going to have to sell them so we can make so we can keep some money that we can do. But it's going to be a hands-on job with the sheriff's office, working with council, and cutting what we can in cost to get this done.
All right, the same question for you, Sheriff.
The animal control, I went first.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
But I will say that Josh hit the nail on the head, but them's not the sheriff's wheels and tires. They belong to Enterprise Leasing, that's the way it came.
Yes.
So I know what he was referring to.
Okay, well, I didn't even know what he's talking about.
Yes, sir.
To be honest with you, and y'all can have some of my wheels, they probably ain't worth
You got a good looking
the
thing.
repo man.
We need a lot of wheels.
That's right. And, okay, Sheriff, this goes to you first. Will there be any effort put in toward developing community watch programs while deputies connect with their communities and build a relationship with citizens of Saluda County?
We already have some in place, Burton. Thank you, great question, whoever asked the
That's
question.
right.
We have Community Crime Watch. We have one of the oldest community crime watches at Rehoboth, down on Holly Ferry. It's been there for years before I took office. So we've continued to build on that, and we've had 2 more implemented, but due to the pandemic with the COVID, we've had one in the Sardis community. I've been trying to get one started up in the Ward community in Monetta, Red Spring area. Down on Pleasant Grove, we had started one with that, plus the Circle Fire Department. But due to this pandemic with the COVID and stuff, the only one that we had a little candidate for them at Rehoboth the other week, and I spoke a little bit on the crime watch, but that's the first one we've had in a while. But it's definitely a big thing to build community relations. I think we've come a long way. Do we have work to do? Sure. But the community relations means a whole lot in gathering information to help solve crimes.
And we're going back to Josh Price at this time on that question.
Okay, yes. One thing that, as your sheriff, that I definitely want to do is get back to community policing. I do want to work with zones in the county to have deputies assigned to zones so they will have a specific area to where when they're not on any calls, they'll answer calls in all areas of the county, but if they're not busy on any other call, they'll be assigned to a zone that they can go to and work, and I want them to get to know the men and women they serve. That's going to help us. Crime Watch is definitely something that I want to see. We have to do a better job than what we've done. Every area of the county, I think we could start with our fire departments, reaching out to them and hold a annual Crime Watch meeting at least quarterly there and get some information. I think that our fire departments will definitely help us in that area to establish stronger crime watches. But community involvement and crime watch is something that you're definitely going to see a lot of.
Okay, I'm going to ask one more question and I'm going to take a break because I know everybody needs to walk around a little bit after sitting down. And this is a question I'm sure y'all get all the time, not just town, but county too. Litter. It has been said in the past we cannot have an inmate litter program. And I don't know who said that. Are inmates already covered under county liability insurance? And if so, how is not the same liability insurance cover them while they're conducting litter control? It also has been said that this is not cost effective to pay an inmate guard while picking up litter. Could we have a rolling schedule to disperse this amongst the deputies or inmate guards we do have? And I think that goes to I think that goes to you first.
Okay. Yes, as your sheriff, we will have some programs that I want to implement. We do have insurance will cover inmates. Of course, if we do have inmates, it's not going to be like a chain gang like what we used to have. It'll definitely be voluntarily something that inmates can volunteer to go and do. You got a lot of people, if they sit up in a small cell all day, they'll be glad to go out and work. As far as other things, I want to implement a sheriff's work program to where when you're sentenced to probation or magistrate cases where you have community service, that you'll be able to come out and you'll be assigned community service and we will pick up trash on the side of the road. It's definitely something that we can help. It's going to, one thing it's going to do is going to let us educate people about litter. And same people who's probably throwing trash out on the side of the roads is the same people who's going to be winding up in trouble. So we're going to work on that. I've even talked to Good Old Boys Trash Service. They will come by volunteer. If we bag up trash on the side of a highway, on the side of the road, if we let them know that they will come by and they'll pick that up free of charge, it won't cost the county anything. As far as people working in our detention center or our deputies, I would have a rotation of that and I would be a big part of that. But I think that with criminals, getting something out of them and helping beautify our county is something that we definitely have. It's something that I've campaigned on from day one, and it's something that I will definitely follow through as your sheriff.
All right, and now the same question to Sheriff Perry.
Thank you, Burton. They are covered under the liability insurance, like you said, to start with. But if they have not been sentenced, you cannot use the pretrial inmates or stuff like that. But if they have already been sentenced, sure you can. But with a program of sentencing them to that, yes. We do have a litter pickup program, but we do it with our deputies and stuff because is there a liability? Sure, there's always a liability. If you get up out of this chair the wrong way, there's always a liability. But with the cost affected, you have to be conservative because we do have constables in reserve that is no charge to the county that we could put in charge of that program.
All right, and we're encouraging you to vote Tuesday, November the 3rd. The election is 2 weeks away. We'll be right back after this commercial break. You're watching Tiger Talk Tuesday, live from Mix. All out stump grinding. Call Zach Hendricks for a free quote. No job too big or no stump too small. Give us a call. 803-580-1332. You can see the difference before and after. CM Tree Service. We are insured and in the tree removal and pruning business. We will give you a free estimate today. Call Cody Berry, 864-377-7898, or Martin Berry, 864-980-0153, and like us on Facebook. The Wills Agency, your local nationwide insurance agency covering auto, home, life, and business. Let me help you save today. Call James Wills at 1-800-557-3390. Nationwide is on your side.
Are you ready to consider a job that provides consistent pay, great benefits, and paid time off? Then join the AMIC team. We'll teach you everything you need to know. Apply today for positions at our Batesburg facility at www.amicfarms.com. Phone interviews are available for quick consideration. That's amicfarms.com.
At Allen Harmon Trucking, we treat your load and our truckers like family. Wake up to a beautiful sunrise in your big rig office, then be at home in time to kiss your wife and kids goodnight. Call us today for more information, 864-445-7249. Allen Harmon Trucking is a proud supporter of Saluda Tiger football.
With Cricket Wireless savings, the whole family can watch Saluda now. The difference is clear as Cricket's signal when you see the money you can save by switching. And with nationwide 5G coverage, your wireless connectivity is wherever life takes you. So come by Cricket Wireless today at 300 South Jefferson and let us show you the Cricket difference. Berry Insurance Group, located in Batesburg, Leesville, offering auto, home, farm, and commercial insurance. Owned and operated by Will Berry. Choose local, choose independent, choose Berry Insurance Group. 803-307-0030 or online at berryingroup.com.
Crumley Ford, 102 Greenwood Highway, Saluda, invites you to come in today to save. The 2020 Ford Edge Escape Explorer and Expedition has 0% financing for 60 months. Call today, 864-445-2107, and talk to Mike, Will, or Lauren at Crumley Ford. Save money, save time. Shop Crouch's First. Whether it's lumber, paint, hardware, electrical, plumbing, we supply you from feed to field. Yeti, Traeger, Blackstone, Costa, Salty Britches, Milwaukee, Makita, and much more. Come by and visit us today. 508 North Main Salute or call 864-445-0063.
Shop local at Economy Furniture. Huge savings on Benchcraft, Lazy Boy, Best Home Furnishings, and so many more. Visit our website now to see all our specials at economyfurniture.com. Right on the corner, right on the price.
Edwards Heating and Cooling, Saluda, South Carolina, provides you excellent service when it comes to your HVAC unit. Keith and Dawn Edwards have many years' experience in the heating and cooling business. They invite you to call them today, 864-445-0088, or visit their website, edwardsandheatingcoolingllc.com. Go, Saluda Tigers! Our communities come together with our common interest transcending the beauty of our county's sports, good food, and great laughs. With your vote on November 3rd, I will continue to serve the great, proud, and humble community that is District 10. Paid for by re-elect Floyd Nicholson, SC Senate District 10. When it comes tax time, look no further than H&R Block, 304th North Main, Saluda. They make sure you get all the deductions you need to save money. When it comes tax time, trust the professionals at H&R Block. Call them 864-445-2958 and like them on Facebook.
JRA Exterminating, the most trusted name in pest extermination. Remember, folks, whether it's cockroaches or piss ants, call Justin Anderson at JRA Exterminating today at 803-532-1122 or at www.jraexterminating.com.
Migs of Saluda, serving tasty dishes, appetizers, fresh salads, hot out of the oven fresh subs, chicken, steak, and seafood, and the best Italian dishes and pizza around. Visit them today, 216 Greenwood Highway. For a drive-through or pickup, call ahead, 864-445-9990. And we're back, glad to be back with you from Migs. Come in tonight, tell them I mentioned the Migs special, and you'll buy one pizza, get the second one off. So come on down here to Migs tonight and get you a pizza. It'll be good for your family. You can feed the whole family with it. In fact, we're going to be Wednesday night with football team. Migs is feeding the football team. So we're going to be down there with Billy Garrett and his campaign. So we'll do that. And we appreciate everybody putting in your questions. And I know the candidates appreciate everybody. And we got a lot more, but we're going to try to speed it up here a little bit. Down to 1 minute answers or 30-second answers. Let's put the 30-second answers, if y'all don't mind. I know that's a lot to ask.
I'll try.
I know that's a lot to ask, but
It's gonna be hard, bro.
we're going to speed it up, okay? And I think the first one we start with is Sheriff Perry on this question. And you've got this question before because I've heard you answer this. And this is sort of lumped together. If you're elected, will your deputies or subordinates be background checked to ensure we do not take officers from other agencies having terminated from bad conduct? Also, how can we retain employees? And what about hiring more African American and Latinos in your sheriff department? Sheriff Perry.
Absolutely. Great question, Burton. I think it's another 3-part, 4-part question. But talking about the background checks and stuff, we still do that now at this point in time. If it's not turned in, you have to turn a PCS form in on your MRN to the Criminal Justice Academy. You have to check with the Criminal Justice Academy. You have to check with the former employees and stuff. But if it's not put down, guess what? You're going on basically what you have that's been turned in at that point in time. And hiring, I think the second part, what was the second part of it?
Retaining employees.
Retaining employees. The easiest way to retain employees, I would love to have everybody from Saluda County working here, but unfortunately with the salaries and the stuff that we have, we've got to get more competitive. We have moved in that direction. We need to move a little further in that direction, getting our salaries competitive with surrounding agencies and stuff. The next part of that question is
Hiring more African American Latinos.
hiring African American and Latinos. We have 3 at the sheriff's office at this time, African Americans, that we've hired. We had more, several of them left. But to hire them and retain them, the biggest part is to get the salaries and compensation up.
All right, we'll ask the same thing to Josh Price this time.
Yes, sir. As far as doing background checks on officers, I think that's something that all law enforcement agencies are going to have to step up and do a better job of right now. It's something that we've had bad officers, that people who have fell through the cracks and have been hired that they shouldn't have been hired. But that's why you have to have strong leadership that's going to take responsibility, that's going to do proper background checks, to pick up the phone, call these people who have worked at agencies, speak to their supervisors. And we're going to have to put pressure on sheriffs and chiefs to, when you have a bad officer, that they need to be flagged from the academy so they don't show back up in law enforcement. There is nothing that a good officer hates more than a bad officer. I do not, no good officer wants any bad officers around, because it tarnishes the badge that we all wear and wear it proudly. As far as retaining officers, there's got to be a good morale at the agency. I do not believe that the sheriff's office has the best morale. We have a huge turnover rate. We're losing young men who work here, and I think it's more of a morale issue and the atmosphere of the office instead of the salaries. People don't get into law enforcement to get rich, but they do get into law enforcement to serve their communities. But we have to make sure that we have a sheriff's office where everyone is treated fairly. They're on the same page, that no certain deputies get treated in a different way than other deputies, and I don't believe that's happening right now, but I can guarantee you under my administration, that's going to be something that will not be tolerated. We're going to have a good atmosphere. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to be out here on patrol with these men and women during the day and at night. I'm going to keep the sheriff's office accountable to the people, and we're going to serve the people. On the end of African American and Latinos, we have a lot of people from different backgrounds currently working in law enforcement, but it's a tough time to hire people of all races. You don't have young people putting in for a whole lot of law enforcement jobs, and it's just the climate's bad right now. So that's something that we have to start here in Saluda County, getting involved with our high schools, start recruiting these people young and early to get them, and that's all races, because I definitely want to see people from this county serve this county.
Okay, and the next question deals with young people. How about a DARE program in Saluda and curtailing the drug problem in Saluda County? This goes to Josh first.
Okay, I definitely want to see some programs implemented in our school. I've talked about the DARE program, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the old DARE program, but we can do more. We have resource officers in every school, every public school in Saluda. So we can do more with working with our school administration and having these school resource officers teach classes, because these young people, I'm telling you, if you talk to a teacher who works in our school system, and they'll tell you some of the stuff that these children are seeing. Drugs are rampant in our schools, they're rampant in our community, and it's something that we have to address right now. We have to get involved with these kids, tell them about dangerous drugs and alcohol. We have to start programs when they're young in our schools, and that's definitely something I want to do. I think if we can reach children early and reach them through their young years going on into their teen years, that they'll be less likely to be getting in trouble when they get a little older. As far as the drug problem in our county, we have to attack the drug problem. I've been around all over this county. There's places to where, people are scared because there's a drug house down the street. I promise you, as your sheriff, those people are going to be on notice. They're going to be scared of law enforcement. The drug dealers are going to be scared of law enforcement, not the good senior citizens who are scared because they have a drug house down the street. We're going to attack the drug problem, and the best way to do that is the men and women who are selling this stuff, we're going to put them in jail and we're going to send them to prison.
All right, we'll ask the same question now, Sheriff Perry.
Thank you, Burton. Speaking on the DARE program, we used to have a DARE program at one time. It was done away with before my time. It was done away with. But we do have programs. We have magazines. We have literature and stuff that we send out to the schools. We have some top-notch SROs that have implemented programs on their own. Yes, it starts at a young age. That's where it starts at, and working with the young. It starts there, then you build on that. Talking about the drug problems, there's a drug problem nationwide, not only Saluda County, but it's nationwide. Have we done our part? Sure we have. You know, I got asked this question probably 15 years ago when I was a street officer. You gonna stop the drug problem now? And I kind of grinned at him. I said, I'll try my best. But the best thing you can do is contain it. Or stopping the drug problem, you'll never stop it entirely. But we have done more than our work, and if people want to see the facts, we can show them. I can print the CAD out to them and show them the drug violation charges that we have made. But a great question. Thank you.
And I would like to say that Saluda now supports our deputies. In fact, they just had a breaking news alert come in from Greenville. 3 Greenville County deputies injured during a traffic stop. At least 1 hit by a vehicle, deputies say. And that it's a dangerous job, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially when you're out in situations like that, you never know how your day is going to end. You leave your family in the morning or at night and you go to work, you don't never know what is going to happen. You might have a pretty easy day, and then you're going to have some days to where you're going to see some life-altering things. So law enforcement has a tough job.
I told a gentleman this several years ago, Burton. My father spoke on this. He started his law enforcement career in 1970, passed away in 1995. I was younger then. It didn't instill in me then. It took a while to grow on me. He told me something that stuck with me throughout my career. He said, John, when I get in that patrol vehicle and shut the driver's door, it sounds like the passenger door shuts. And I looked at it and I said, do what? What that is the good Lord, your co-pilot, getting in with you. It's every situation you go on, everybody talks about is the same situation, Merton. Never, you always can get complacent in a time like this, and unrest as the nation is. Sad times we're living in as far as law enforcement.
Yes, it is. And having a cousin and an uncle killed by someone fleeing or someone that's suspect, it hits home. And I pray for y'all every day, as I know others do. This question goes first to Sheriff Perry. I understand the efficient and effective law enforcement is a necessary part of Saluda County budget. However, it is apparent that all departments need to find ways to cut their budget and relieve some of the tax burden for our citizens. Tell us specific ways how you could accomplish this. And I understand that the current county council is talking this up and so forth, but this question is direct first to Sheriff Perry.
Great question. One of the main things that you can cut down, especially as a sheriff's office, being the sheriff, is like your overtime. Like we was referring to about a while ago, the call outs and stuff like that. Guess where that goes into? That goes into the overtime. That's the times we live in, that's our job. But that's one of the cuts. Because we cut down on some of the court security and stuff of we use, a lot of people don't know it, but we have constables and reserves that we use that are no cost to the county right now, that's saving for us several positions as deputies. There's ways and means to cut, but I would love to sit down with the whole county council to figure out them ways of, if they tell me something, I'm all about working with them. Thank you.
All right, and that question is now direct to Josh Price.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the question. To try to cost save the county, we have to do several things. And I mean, it's going to take leading from the front on this, but we have had issues with overtime. But now, when you start attacking overtime and say, well, we got to cut back overtime, there's only so much of that you can, because when there's crime, you have to go to work. But there's wasteful spending on certain things that I believe is wasteful. Stuff that didn't have enough forethought, that has just been kind of money wasted. It's a man told me, my granddad told me one time, he said, it's your little money that gets you, not your big money. If you spend your big money on something, you can turn around and sell it and get it back. But if you waste your little money on Pepsi Colas and crackers, then that's where you get in financial trouble. So when we've had issues where we bought phones for deputies to wear that we had to spend money on that never got implemented because the program didn't work. We've used several different apps, money to buy apps for the sheriff's office that nobody's ever picked up on. It's little stuff like that you spend your money and waste it on that is not a good thing. We currently have deputies that are driving around 65 miles just to come to work one way. That's a lot of gas. That's one way. So there might need to be some incentive to live in Saluda County if you're going to work in Saluda County. So it's just a ton of things, but you have to keep your thumb on it. You have to spend the people's money the way that you spend your own money, and I don't think that always happens in government. As your sheriff, I will not waste your money, and I will be fiscally responsible with the taxpayer dollars.
Okay, now let me ask you, your birthday's in
August.
And your birthday's in September. So you went first, so you'll finish up the program now with your final remarks. Josh Price.
Well, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in and everyone who will watch this. I've been around this county since I resigned as captain to run for sheriff in January, and I've tried to talk to as many people as I can to let them know I want to be your sheriff. One of the easiest and hardest things that I've ever had to do was resign from the sheriff's office. I love serving Saluda County. I love working at the Saluda County Sheriff's Office. I had a pretty good job as captain. You don't get rich in law enforcement, but I was making all right. But I had some very moral and ethical disagreements about the way the sheriff's office was being ran. So it was hard in the sense that I put my family through financial struggle for the last 9 months to run for this office. I knew that I was going to go work night shift some at the Saluda Police Department, and that was a risk. But it was easy in the fact that I knew it was the right thing to do. I knew it was the right thing because I know that I can lead this county into the future as your next sheriff. I know that I can keep us safer, and I know that that we can get things done in this county that we need. I'm asking for your support and your vote. If you haven't already voted, you can vote early, or you can vote on November the 3rd. But I want you to know, if I've been around, I've beat on a lot of doors. If I hadn't made it to your house, I'm asking you right now, I want to be your sheriff. You can look around this county, you can see how hard I've worked, and I've told people this is a huge job interview, and I want to be your sheriff, and I want the job. So I'm asking you for your support and for your vote on November the 3rd. And together, we're going to make Saluda County safer, we're going to make it better, and we're going to get a lot of things done. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be sitting here saying that we've had time to go do this or I should have got this done. I'm going to go to work for people on this county on day one. You're going to have a sheriff that's visible in all areas of the county, that is seen, who is active, and who is going to serve this county in the best way possible. So thank you for your time, and I appreciate your consideration for your vote.
All right, we thank you for coming out today, Josh. And also, at this time, we want to ask Sheriff Perry, and be giving his final remarks.
Thank you, Burton. Thank everyone for tuning in. You heard me start off by saying I have served the citizens of this county since 1999. It's home to me. Does it mean a lot to me? Sure it does. Have we accomplished a lot of our goals? Sure. Have we got more to accomplish? Sure we have. But thanks to the citizens of this county, I appreciate your vote on November the 3rd. I have served as your sheriff for the last 8 years. Sweat, tears, and dedication put into this. And I want to finalize that by saying, people, it takes a toll on you, but not only you. I want to thank my family and my supporters for this. Vote November the 3rd. Thank you for your support, and God bless each and every one of you.
And we appreciate Sheriff Perry for coming as well, and Josh and Sheriff Perry. And another question we had from both of you at the time is how could we contact you? And also somebody asked how they could contribute to y'all's campaign, and I know that's welcome too. So you want to go first, Josh? How can they contact you?
Sure, you can. The best way to get in touch with me is just call me on my cell phone. The number is 864-554-1133. You can also email me at priceforsheriff2020@gmail.com. If you would like to contribute to campaign, you can call me. I will let you know where you can send a check. But I tell you, I appreciate your vote, and so thank you.
All right, Sheriff Perry.
My cell number is 864-980-4734. That's my work phone. Or you can send me an email, and the county email is all I have right now, j.perry@salutacounty.sc.gov. In reference to the contributions, save your contribution for this go around. I appreciate your support and your vote. That'll be more than your contribution. Thank you so much.
And they both encourage you to get out and vote Tuesday, November the 3rd. Don't forget it. And of course, just like they both said, early voting is going on right now. We appreciate Sheriff John Perry and Josh Price for coming out, and we also appreciate Miggs for making this possible. You're watching Tiger Talk Tuesday live from Miggs. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Now we're going to have to get Burton and help him tote this stuff out.
No.
He doesn't have to really rain.
Y'all go on. Listen, y'all got, both of y'all
He's got something.
have
At
got
Motor Paint and Body, we put quality first. Whether it's your vehicle, RV, boat, or aircraft, we can handle it all. Leave it to us to take care of your insurance claim, or you can pay us right out of your pocket. So call BR Britt Reams today, 864-445-7747, and like us on Facebook. Newberry County Memorial Hospital, your hospital. Our mission is to provide exceptional care with a personal touch. Newberry Hospital is engaged in the passionate pursuit of optimal care, treatment, and convenience. Our goal is to always be the first choice for your quality health care needs. No one handles care better. NewberryHospital.org.
JRA Exterminating, the most trusted name in pest extermination. Remember, folks, whether it's cockroaches or piss ants, call Justin Anderson at JRA Exterminating today at 803-532-1122 or at www.jraexterminating.com.
There's only one thing faster than a Stuart Young offense. YourNorthland.com. With internet, cable, TV, and phone beginning at $25 a month, you can get out of the slow lane and into the fast lane in no time. So speed it up with your Northland.com. Northland Cable, a proud supporter of Saluda Tiger Athletics. Come play the thrill of the hill at Persimmon Hill Golf Club. With the longest hole in South Carolina, you're sure to be challenged. Afterwards, unwind with your friends around the 19th hole in our restaurant. 126 Golf Club Avenue. We welcome to see you at Persimmon Hill Golf Club. Price's Garage and Heavy Duty Towing. For over 50 years, we've been serving our customers by providing reasonable services at prices you can afford. When it comes time to get your car or truck towed in, call us 864-543-2957. We serve 96 and Saluda 24/7. Price's Garage and Heavy Duty Towing. Punks PB and Jam. 1150 Batesburg Highway is open to serve you Wednesday through Saturday, 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. with breakfast, lunch, and catering. Call ahead for takeout, 864-445-3434. Punks PB and Jam. When you have experienced the loss of a loved one, you can trust the Ramey Funeral Home staff to guide you through the process of honoring their life. At RameyFuneralHome.com, you can find pre-planning information, obituaries, as well as resources for grief and healing. Ramey Funeral Home, a proud supporter of Saluda Tiger Athletics. At Saluda Nursing and Rehab Center, caring is a way of life. Our 176-bed nursing facility serves Saluda County since 1968. We offer 24/7 skilled nursing care, and our staff is consistent, compassionate, caring, and knowledgeable. Outpatient rehab therapy services are provided through physician's order services. Call for a free tour, 864-445-2146 or saludanursing.org. The Law Office of Nancy T. Jordan specializes in family court matters and representing individuals injured in automobile collisions. At the Law Office of Nancy T. Jordan, you get experienced, compassionate results. When you need legal representation, call 803-785-7879 or email Nancy at nancyjordanlaw.com. The Ridge Baptist Association is 24 member churches sharing the gospel of Christ. We partner together, serve alongside each other, learn from one another, and connect to God. We invite you to come visit us this Sunday in one of our member churches. Ridge Baptist Association, better together. The town of Saluda, working together for the betterment of our municipality. We encourage the Tigers tonight, both on the field and off the field, as they work in the classroom. And we are a proud supporter of Saluda now. Timeless Roofing, over 25 years experience, licensed and insured. Before and after, you can see quality and integrity. Never gets old. TimelessRoofingSC.com. Call for a free quote, 803-687-4184. And tell them Cuz sent you. Come to a Midlands institution, Wiz's Eatery, 110 Church Street, Batesburg, Leesville, where they have mouth-watering burgers, steak and seafood, great salad bar, as well as pizza. Call in tonight, 803-532-1157, or stop by and dine in. Wiz's Eatery.
And we're glad to be back here with you from Tiger Talk Tuesday, live from Mix. Come in tonight, tell them Burton Campbell, Bulldog Burt, give you the special deal, buy one pizza, get the second one half off. And we're so glad to have Carson Burt. It seemed like an eternity since the seen Carson. Well, because last week you got tied up, you couldn't come on the show, and then the week before that I was on vacation, and so we hadn't seen each other in a month.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Tuesdays. And so I'm glad to see you back and wearing your Pittsburgh Steelers hat.
That's right.
And your Clemson Tigers. There's not much to say about that, is it?
Well, I wore the color black today because they made the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets black and blue instead of blue and gold.
Yeah. And of course, South Carolina.
How about that?
What about that?
How about it?
Even some bad calls in the game made me shake my head.
Well, I said this. I told one of my buddies this on Facebook the other day. I said, don't get too crazy with it now. Because Chad Morris and Kevin Steele together, they never beat Carolina.
Yeah.
Back when they were at Clemson. I said, so this really, it ain't an upset. Don't get on no high horse or nothing like that. You didn't beat nobody special.
So, anyway, and of course, Georgia, Stetson Bennett just ain't got it, man. He's too short.
He had to have it his life.
I'll
I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But that poor kid don't know what was going on in that second half for him.
No,
I hate it.
no scoring. I'm sure they're working things out. The only prayer we have really is get JT Daniels back. Now, as far as the rest of our schedule, I think he can win out. I don't think he would have. Florida may pose a problem, but the rest of our schedule.
Well, the thing with
I don't
Florida
see
is you're
anybody
going to have to
stopping
keep up with them on offense.
Yeah.
They don't have a defense for you to have to worry about.
No, and Georgia's defense, I think, can stand them up. That's just my opinion, but
Yeah.
we'll see when it gets closer. Anything else surprising to you? What about the Big Ten starts this week?
Yeah, the Big Ten starts back this week. I got a couple of people that I listen to that are based out of Indiana and Ohio and stuff like that, and they're all excited talking about real football is back. And I just sat here and thinking, I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
The Big Ten has won, what, 2 championships in the last 20 years? No. It's the best thing that the Big Ten has going for them is Ohio State, and they're going to have to play. How many games are on their schedule? 8.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to play at least 6 of those to get into the playoff. If they only play 5, or if they only play 4, they're not going to go to the playoff regardless.
Right.
So they just got to hope that the COVID stays away from them.
Yeah. That's the thing that's killing everybody. That's why Saluta's got to play that game Saturday. Yeah. I mean, on your screen now, Bettis Hurlong State at Matthews Field, 10:38 pregame and 11 a.m. kickoff. I think I didn't say that earlier.
Game.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good game. Tommy Strickland, the who is Phil Strickland's son. Many of y'all know Tommy around town. He actually lives on Summit Hill Golf Course, and he is going to be calling that game for us because most of my guys are tied up, and we're looking for Tommy. He knows Batesburg real good. He went to school there, actually graduated there, and so he's going to be calling against his old alma mater as they take on the Saluda Tigers. There's only 1,000 tickets, and I imagine it will be a good crowd there. I think Clemson is playing Syracuse Saturday, and
Yeah,
that's going to be a rollover.
yeah.
Just like this past
This ain't Syracuse of 2 years ago or nothing like that.
Yeah.
They lost to Liberty last weekend,
Wow.
and it wasn't close either.
Mm.
Their offense is anemic, for lack of a better word, and their defense, they're not going to let us score 10 touchdowns. I'll give them that. But that's only because Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne won't be playing 4 quarters.
Yeah.
It'll probably be similar to Georgia Tech, but not quite.
And another thing is, South Carolina will be playing at LSU Saturday night. That's going to be a good game.
Well, LSU, they're going to be without their starting quarterback, whoever that
Oh, my
is.
goodness. That game's over then.
But I still think LSU's going to win.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I
the
don't
point
think
spread
so.
is, and I would not gamble on this game if that's what you do.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick, I would say LSU will win.
I'd take South
Simply
Carolina by a
because
touchdown.
you have 2 incompetent teams that do not really know what they have going on at this current state. But incompetence with talent is a lot better than being incompetent with no talent.
And of course, my team will be on. They're taking the weekend off, so
Yeah, they need it.
whew, and got to get ready for Kentucky. I mean, good
I'll
gracious,
tell you what, your boys got lucky in that second half against Tennessee last week.
it was something.
That's who Bama plays this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee. Watch out for them Volunteers.
What else is going on? Of course, the Braves lost.
Yep.
Mm.
It was hard for me to watch. I'm a Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers picked up Mookie Betts in the offseason
Oh wow.
from us. And I'm just sitting there. And I'm like, well, the Red Sox ain't in. I guess I'm going to pull for the Braves to do all right.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there watching. Braves blew a 3-1 lead, first of all, series-wise. And then I watched Mook snag that home run
Mm-hmm.
off the fence before it went over. And I was just like, wow. That man is worth every penny he's getting.
Mm.
And I do not think that the Rays have a shot at all of beating the Dodgers. I just don't.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We'll be watching it, of course, and tuned into that. And of course, Notre Dame back to football now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I jumped into baseball and back to football. Notre Dame jumped up to number 4. And so what's your thoughts about that?
Man, after watching them not play for 3 weeks, and then what happened with Louisville and then this past weekend, I just don't see them maintaining where they are. They are not in the correct headspace to be a top 5 team at the moment. UNC, they had a rough one against Florida State this past weekend.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I still firmly believe that North Carolina is the second best team in the ACC.
What exactly happened? It was like it was a total meltdown up there.
Well, Florida State, they've always had talent, even after Jimbo Fisher left and the 2 years of mediocrity with Willie Taggart. That coach they got now, he's the cat that was coaching Memphis last year, and they've had some off-the-field issues and locker room issues with players not liking him and stuff like that, but those players have since left or have refused to play for this man, and with those players out of that locker room, it takes that stuff out of the locker room. So there's more player chemistry, and now you have all this talent from Florida and Georgia and Texas and California where they can get all their recruits from, and it's all these 4 and 5 star guys, and it starts to click, and it finally clicked this past Saturday against North Carolina. And another thing is North Carolina, I think they're trying to do too much on defense. It looks like they're trying to run too many complicated schemes, trying to copy some Brent Venables-like stuff. It's not working for them. They got to buckle down, go back to the basics, do what they got to do on defense to stop people. But North Carolina, they got a really good quarterback, 2 really good running backs. They look a lot to me like Clemson did back when we had C.J. Spiller and James Davis and Cullen Harper on the field with Aaron Kelly and Tyler Grisham and all them boys. They're good, but I don't think they're top 5 good.
And Texas A&M, they had a bye week this past week.
Yeah.
But the weekend before that, they reigned in Florida.
Yep.
Made some news, and Sankey says now he's going to be monitoring the crowd up there. But I thought they had 50%.
No, apparently they were full.
What?
Apparently they were full for that Florida game. Well,
but and I'm a little bit, but Georgia at home, I swear it's 40,000 in there.
Oh, it's got to be.
It's got to be, because how can you have people in the lower bowl, the upper bowl, and the skyscraper bowl? It's like, okay, you got the regular bowl at Clemson, you got the upper deck at Clemson, and then you got a skyscraper deck at Georgia. It's the third thing up.
Yeah.
It's only on one side. You can't tell me that ain't 30,000.
That's more than that.
Yeah, gotta be.
Here's the thing about that. I know after that game, Dan Mullen, he was calling for, all right, yeah, I want full attendance too. It's only fair.
Yeah, right.
And he's right. It's
Which the Florida governor is pushing for. Me and you talked about that.
Yep. And Florida and Texas, they're doing it right. Texas is like, all right, if you're scared, just stay home.
Yeah.
It's that simple. If you want to go out and have fun, you deserve to do so. And I think all 50 states should implement this. And it's
Well, Dr. Fauci said this morning that we're having fatigue.
well, Dr. Fauci's name is on the COVID-19 patent, so yeah.
I hope that don't get a sideline on it.
I hope not. And if it does, I apologize, but I'm sick of that, man.
All right. All right. Comments, your questions. A lot of people ask questions. I'm sorry I didn't get to them during the sheriff's forum. You had to ask them by 12 noon today. And the reason that is, you can see, I'll hold it up here. That's how many questions I had. I don't think you can see them. And every time you see a question, that's 5 minutes
At
per
least.
question.
At
least. We had to cut some of them out. Just like one of them was, that I cut out was, how many citations are written by deputies for traffic tickets? Well, that went by the window because, the highway patrol pull you over quicker than a deputy. And if you ain't got your seatbelt on or you're driving down the road and you texting and driving, you probably need to be stopped anyway. We had to ditch that one. Another one we had to ditch was what was their plans for the next 4 years. And I think that pretty well got answered by both of them, because that was sort of in their opening statements and closing statement and all in between. And so and then one we had to condense 3 questions down into one, and that was dealing with hiring practices of Latinos and the African Americans and improving employee retention. And I knew the answer to that because Saluda County is on the bottom of the barrel paying our deputies.
Mm-hmm.
If you work in Saluda County, you're on the lower income on anything.
Yeah.
And you know that, and what you're doing is you're trading working in Saluda, the convenience of not having to get in a car and drive 2 hours a day because you got to go 1 hour one way, 1 hour back, and get to spend time with your family. That's what you trade off. And, you know, I've seen people and scratch my head, how did they do all this and have a home and a family and as not much as they got paid and had a happy life?
Yeah.
So it's your choice, you know, but you trade off one for the other, and that's the good thing about living in a small town. Carson, you've been all over the world with the Marines, and you tell stories about that, and I've been myself because I'm a preacher's kid. We moved 18 times.
Good Lord.
We moved 18 times, and we wound up coming in here in 75, moving away in 80, coming back in 85. And thank the Lord, unless an angel comes down from heaven, I'm not going nowhere to tell me to go. But, you know, that's sort of the questions we got asked today. And it was good questions. I want y'all to know that. But the ones you submitted here on Facebook, you can just call them up and ask them individually because we're not going to have another forum. But I appreciate you watching, though. And appreciate the Josh Price and John taking time out of their schedule. My Lord.
Absolutely, and those are two very busy guys. And if you did not get a chance to see all of today's show, you can go back through the Salute Now Facebook page and check it out and rewatch everything.
You can rewatch everything up there, and they can, and you can comment your questions. They'll answer them, and they'll go back through your comments on Facebook and message you and answer your questions individually. And because listen, as you know as well as I do, social media is where it's at.
Absolutely.
That's why we had Frank Davis earlier. You can go back and watch his program there. Now, you'll have to go back to the other post we had. It's not on this post. It'll be the other one previously, but we had him on. And he was sort of discouraged about the radio station, but now he's got a good outlook because he's going to be on social media. Listen, it works. I told Frank, and it sort of bobbled his head, and it bobbles mine this year more than any. Last year, this time, we were averaging probably 18,000. We're 29,000 last week, and the report just came in for last week today. Just got it. And we had 28,000 or so the first weekend Saluda play. 29,000 this past weekend. This week, 43,000. 43,000 have clicked on Saluda Now. Phew. That's unreal because that's getting close to Abbeville numbers on our third year. So that's pretty good because we had 86,000 for the Abbeville game this past year and 140,000 on the championship game. So we're at TV station numbers.
Yeah, well, TV's dying too, Bert.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Well, the
all about
preacher
the
told me
internet
that.
and streaming now.
Matt Brunson, who pastored First Baptist Abbeville, he told me that. He said, "This is your TV."
It is.
See, I'm actually watching it now and monitoring yours, and I couldn't do it the whole time. So anyway, people ask questions. Not good questions, and I'm sorry you questioned Pansy Forrest and John Moran. Y'all watching, and Andrew Whittle. And a lot of folks watching there now. So anyway, now getting back to the football situation, any other teams surprise you this weekend, or anything you want to say about football?
I will say this: Cincinnati, they look really, really good. And last year, I said that they should be in the top four. That didn't happen. They lost to Memphis back-to-back in the end of the season, which is why homeboy's coaching down there now in Florida State. But they look really, really good, and BYU was another team to look out for. They ain't been good for about 30 years, but watch out for them. They look all right. And then Oklahoma State looks like the best team in the Big 12 right now. Texas and Oklahoma both sucking it up.
Yeah.
Pac-12 starts in a couple weeks, I believe. Other than that, it's the Clemson Alabama show.
Yeah. For real. And Alabama, boy, they just, I don't see nobody stopping them on their schedule.
Not on their schedule now.
No.
Except maybe Tennessee this weekend. Watch out for them.
Yeah.
But if you remember, when we did our preseason show, I said that.
Well, they made a change at Tennessee. I'm going to talk about that.
Let their defensive line coach go.
Yeah.
Had someone else come in, which I don't think that's the right way to go because, I mean, their defense, it was doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing fine up until that second half against Georgia when the offense started creating turnovers. Up until that point, they haven't turned the ball over all season. And since then, they've turned the ball over 7 times since that second half against Georgia.
And I still think, and everybody has talked about whether it was Kentucky, but I still think Kentucky is getting better.
They are. They just need a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's all they need. But
because they had more, now I'm pretty sure about this, they had more offense than they've had since, who was the big guy that was there? You know, he weighed probably 300 or 400 pounds, and I think they won the conference that year. What was his name? Anyway, before I think it was even predated the SEC championship.
that's before my time, Bert.
Oh, gracious. Yeah, I keep forgetting you're not Mr. Encyclopedia over here, and that I think sometimes I feel like you're the same age as I am.
Well, I might feel like it sometimes too. But no, if Mike Stoops would recruit a quarterback, they'd be all right. They'd probably win the East, just flip flopping back and forth with Georgia.
Yeah.
If he would recruit a quarterback, but he don't.
Mm-hmm.
All he cares about is that defense. But his defense is good. It's straight. Offensive line looks good. Running back looks good. Receivers look good. They just ain't got a quarterback.
Christy Shealy watching. Thank you, Christy, for watching Saluda Now. And a lot of folks is coming on now. Amazing. Okay. And we're actually
An hour overtime.
Yeah, we're overtime because we went blank. Well, our microphones went dead, and I had to switch that up, and that's why I had a break in there. If everybody wonders, listen, I always have plan A, B, C, D, because you don't never know what's going to go wrong, especially on Friday night. My van's full. Somebody asked me at the funeral because of John Robert Crawford, and that's something else I wanted to mention. Mr. John Robert Crawford, we wanted to do this in his memory too. Great guy. He was a lot of people's principal. He spent a lot of time in Saluda. He was actually a horticulture teacher. I was telling somebody that he got on to me one time in the hallway. The only time, it's actually the first time I had ever talked to him about anything, and he said, "You need to tuck your shirt tail in," and he made me stop and tuck my shirt tail in my jeans. That's old timey there. But yeah, we will miss him and hopefully remember him this Saturday at halftime at the football game. All right, and something else I wanted to mention too. There's 2 things, and then we'll get your final thoughts too. Let's keep a lookout for this guy. Newberry County got in touch with us about this fugitive from justice. He actually took a person hostage. He may look familiar to you. Got a white beard, camo jacket in this picture. He may be wearing different clothes now. But he was in a convenience store before he made a hit on this elderly person and tied them up in their home, took them up hostage in their own home, endanger their lives and endanger the lives of the deputies and Saluda give mutual aid. But they're looking for him, and we've got this picture now. White male, 5'1" to 5'5", middle age, could be wearing similar clothing. If you see him or you think you know this person, call 911, tell them to connect you with Newberry Sheriff's Office. And they'll do it, they'll connect you. And he's wanted for kidnapping and armed robbery. Not two good things to have.
Not at all.
And also, we encourage you to vote November 3rd. So don't forget that, and we've been doing that with them. And the trunk or treat is going to be Saturday, October the 31st at 5:30, and we hope that you will come out and be with us. Saluda Now is going to be there broadcasting the whole thing live. We're going to be handing out candy. We're going to have our crew out there. All of them's going to be handing candy out with us, and we're looking forward to seeing all the kiddos out there. It's a drive-through trunk or treat this time, so you come out there and be a part of it. All right, Carson, anything you want to say finally? Your mic's not working. Try that other one over there. There you go.
Yeah. I just want to say, make sure you do go exercise your right to vote. I don't care if you vote for Donald Trump. I don't care if you vote for Joe Biden. I don't care if you vote for Joe Jorgensen. I don't care if you vote for any of the other third party. Go vote. Let your opinion be heard.
What about Joe Jorgensen, one of his aides or somebody coming in maybe next week? Or calling
Yeah,
in?
I'm still waiting to hear back from him.
Yeah.
I've actually emailed Joe Jorgensen's staff. I've emailed Spike Cohen, which is her vice president's staff. Not just for Saluda Now, I've also done it for a show that I do with some buddies of mine on Friday nights that we're trying to get her on. We're going to spotlight her this week. Just make sure you go vote. This, what this country was built upon is your right to exercise that and to let your opinion be heard, let your voice be heard. Make sure you vote for people who are going to help build the country up and not tear it down. With all that said, and just do your part. It's that simple.
All right, and we got one more person to talk to before we sign out here, and I'm fixing to get them on the phone. Miss Tiffany. And we appreciate everybody that came out to the race store benefit. Let me see if I can get her on the phone. Hopefully I will. She might be out of range. But you know,
Those was good.
they were good.
I ate about 6 of them.
I actually got 4 plates myself.
Your call has been forwarded.
Okay, we can't get Tiffany, but we appreciate everybody that helped with the race store benefit, and everybody keep him in your prayers. I don't know if you got to see the picture with me and Ray, but I got to see him. Of course, I worked with Ray at the hardware store. Before then, it was Ace Hardware. Many of y'all may remember that, and so I got to see him and tell him we praying for him, we love him, and it was a great success. A lot of folks came out. I don't know how many people were registered to vote, but it was on up there, and we were able to go out and see him there. So you make sure to thank everybody that helped with that there. Okay. Anything else? Your final thoughts today, Carson?
Steelers are going undefeated. They're going to win the Super Bowl. Clemson's going undefeated. We're going to win the Natty. That's it.
Uh-oh. You got a comment out there. Somebody didn't like what you said in the audience.
That's why they're in the audience.
She's still laughing. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad. We need to get a super audience out here next time. Yeah.
We're going to have to go back to doing this thing at night sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. Good luck on that.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially me. Woo, I hear the chicken about to lay egg.
You going to the Fake Death Valley this weekend and still gonna lose.
Oh, gracious. Now the children are getting involved, so we're going to cut it off there. Folks, we appreciate everybody tuning in to Tiger Talk Tuesday. Listen, we hope you have a wonderful weekend. For Carson Burgess, and I'm Bulldog Burt, we're signing out. Hope to see you this Saturday over at Bettis Herlong at Matthews Field. Pre-games at 10:30, kickoffs 11 right here on your Saluda Now. We're signing out for now. Have a great day.